Be Mighty, a weekly dose of inspiring words of wisdom from the streets of New York City by artist and entrepreneur Terrence Kellerman of Dynamite.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Kellerman. Welcome to the third episode of the Be Mighty Street Project, flyer project. Basically every week I run down this week's flyer. Each flyer has words of inspiration, quotes that I find inspiring or thoughtful. And the idea is that anybody randomly can find these in the streets of New York, tear off a tab, carry it around, share it on Instagram, etc. You see how it works. We all pass it on and we get better and better together. You can always download your flyer at bemighty.net. And this week's flyer can be also repurposed as a hat if you like that. So all this like wisdom and inspiration can go right into your brain. Try that, see how that works. Or you could just read them. So why don't we get into it? Let's read this week's flyer. Be Mighty, week 33. Okay, so the first quote is from Jim Cathcart. Now, I have to say I didn't know who Jim Cathcart was until I found this quote, but this is part of the idea of the project is exposing yourself to new things, learning new things, and turns out he's a motivational speaker who has a lot of clout, had a really cool TED Talk, so link that up and you can check that out. So Jim says, become the person who would attract the results you seek. I like that. I mean, obviously I like it because I put it in the flyer, but I like it because it's about putting yourself in the perspective of how you see yourself being successful. I think a lot of times we think about our goals or our, the thing that we want, say, in our life, and we think of it as some far off place that, maybe one day will come to us. But I like little exercises like this because it's a shift. You're literally putting yourself in that position to have the success. In fact, one of the things I do every morning is I have a really big glass of water next to my bed, and I'll look at that water and just say, this is goodness, and this is prosperity and success. And I drink that, and all the time I'm thinking of the things that I want in my life. It's a good way to sort of jumpstart your day. Highly recommend it. Check it out. All right, let's go to the next quote. The secret of getting ahead is getting started, Mark Twain. This is very simple, and yet it's the secret to all success. Taking that one step that, that's it. Starting is the whole thing. I mean, Picasso, I think, also said that drawing starts by drawing. You can't create something without beginning. You got to break a few eggs, So it's just starting, literally, like letting yourself have the permission to get it going. You don't have to figure the whole thing out. Let's go to the next one. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Wow. This one I really can connect with. George Addair. Man, I've noticed this in the 13 years of running Dynamite that, it's not just in a business sense, but I think in a personal sense too. But business really challenges you. Being an entrepreneur really challenges you. And it's almost like I've told other people, if there's something you're afraid of, your business or some part of the business is going to find that thing and it's going to amplify it. It's going to make you confront it until you get over it, So for that, business can be really great, can be very expanding as far as a personal experience, personal development. But I really like this because it's really once you get to the fear and once you're able to cross over it, it literally changes everything in your perspective and in your mind. And often what's so paradoxical about those fears that we hold on to so tightly is once we crossed over them, we look back and we go, really? That was it? That's what I was so upset about? But yeah, letting go of the fear is the biggest challenge in life, but it's also once you get there, you realize there's so much more you can do. That's when really things start to open up to you. So let's go to the next one, Robert Brault. Be happy and a reason will come along. That's great. Um, this is kind of like an ongoing theme in many of the flyers. You probably recognize that, it's not waiting to be happy, but choosing to be happy. We always sort of exercise our frustrations or complaints about things. Oh, this didn't work, or the subway that, or, you know, and if we just take a little bit of time and focus on those few little things that maybe we liked about the beginning of our day, or, in our commute, and we focus on those instead of the things that we're negative about, you'll be much happier. You'll start off your day better. And you'll see that, if you're in the right state of mind, the happiness will come along to you. Let's get to the next one. It's anonymous. Sometimes we are limited more by attitude than by opportunities. Well, yeah, I think that's that has a lot of tie-in with getting to the other side of fear. Our attitudes can totally prohibit us from seeing things as opportunities. In fact, I think of it like, we become almost accustomed to carrying our crap around with us. That it's just, it's like our cozy blankets, our little, comfy blanket that, even though there are problems and we kind of feel miserable with them, those are the miseries and the things that we're familiar with, and our attitude often is shaped by those things. So you end up holding on to these sort of belief systems that aren't helping you. They're not letting you create new opportunities. So that's a really good one. Lao Tzu says, "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." I mean, it takes both. But I think definitely the hardest part for anybody is really trying to focus on yourself. And I think, it takes more than one way to try to get that enlightenment. But you definitely have to try to create opportunities in your day and in your cycles to let yourself have those moments of reflection. Anyway, we'll get to the next quote. "The one who is meant for you encourages you to be your best, but still loves you and accepts you at your worst." Anonymous. So this is kind of like the first love advice of the Be Mighty flyer, but I think I put a lot of these in here because for when I find them, there's something that resonates with me, and I think maybe for this particular quote, it's learning what it is to be, or to have, or to experience, and to live unconditional love. Not something I think everybody gets the chance to experience, but really helps you understand that somebody who really loves you doesn't love you because you're going to get better someday, or I love you except for this thing that you do, or even in the things that you yourself are not proud of, that person still loves you. I think that's just a really, really important lesson. Too often we're fair weather friends with love and with a lot of parts of our life. So I think that's a really important quote. This is a great one. I love this. "One thing about the school of experience is that it will reject the lesson. Oh, sorry. One thing about the school of experience is that it will repeat the lesson if you flunk the first time." Anonymous. I mean, that is so true. I mean, I feel like there are things that I think in this, in my business, that I've sort of tried to dodge, things that I've sort of not wanted to have to take the responsibility full on for. And man, I get, you kind of reserve that same plate, if you will. because it's just something that's there for me to learn from. And if I don't take it on full on and take that challenge and accept it, it's going to come back to me later. So it's a little bit of advice for us as we come up to our challenges, and not to shy away from them, but to accept them. Because you're just going to have to repeat it anyway if you don't get it right. So you might as well give it your best shot. All right, next quote is Booker T. Washington. You measure the site of the... Oh, there's a little typo here. I'm going to fix that. When you're downloading your flyers, it'll be fixed. You measure the size of the accomplishment by the obstacles you had to overcome to reach your goals. Sometimes it's not having a success so much that's, say, financial or, linked to some awards or something, but the success is in overcoming serious hardships. And the measurement of your sort of success or a feeling of accomplishment is definitely proportional to the risks that you take. Like, I've had several things in the history of the company where just almost monumental obstacles present themselves, and out of the blue, and you literally are there fighting for your life, and you never feel better. Ironically, I feel better when I fight through the hardest parts rather than celebrate the highest successes, if that makes sense. But I hope it does. It does to me. And the last quote for this week is by Vincent van Gogh. If you hear a voice within you say, you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. I totally believe this. We all have those voices that say, hey, don't kid yourself. I still have them today, all the time. Like, oh, someday somebody's going to find out about you, and they're going to know you're not a businessman, not a marketer, and it's like, I swear to God, the only thing you can do to silence those voices is just to go do it and start it. So I think that's a great quote. What a great way to end the week. Please, if you can, download a flyer, put one up on your refrigerator or your home or your work or coffee shop, wherever. Every week is a new flyer, new quotes. Join me here back next week for the next week's next episode. And if you'd like, you can also catch me on the internets. I'm at, there you go. Be Mighty is my handle on Instagram. And a lot of pictures here from, flyers that I find around the city and other people. If you find a flyer, you can hashtag Be Mighty and share them up online so we can all find them and share them. It really is it's a fun project. Also, at bemighty.net, like I mentioned, you can download this week's flyer. Also, stay abreast of all the new videos and things that are going on. And feel free to connect with me on Instagram or through here on YouTube. And by all means, please add any comments, suggestions for the segments. So far, the response has been really great. I really appreciate all your guys' support. It's really amazing. Let's continue to inspire. Let's do it. Be mighty. Thanks, guys. Some of that inspiration on me. I'm feeling pretty mighty.